Welcome back everyone to more of our gameplay series of X4 Foundations. And today is the day that I knew was coming, but I had really hoped that we could put this off as long as possible. So let's talk about where things are. We're coming fresh off of our first attempt to enter into Xenon space, and we immediately found out that we really can't take up residence there and spend a lot of time there, although we could probably put some stations there if we wanted to. It's dangerous for our ships.
Orders.
And so then I decided we'd go in a different direction. We know the Syndicate has been on our nerves. And the best way I can describe the Syndicate at this point in my playthrough, maybe they're different in other people's playthrough, but they have continually attacked my miners, my traders. They've killed them. They have harassed them, and we have continually lost reputation with them. All right, so let's actually hop in real quick. And let's take a look at reputation. So we are at a minus 19 with them. It has continually, just slowly but surely, gotten worse. If we reach a minus 20, that's basically all-out war, is essentially what that means from their perspective. Now, right now, if we go here, you see, they're still not going to target us or destroy our property. Now, that's a wink wink and a nod nod on that one because that's exactly what they've been doing. But pretty much at this point, all we can't do is dock at their stations and trade with them. So as soon as we reach negative 20, all that changes. And it's essentially they're going to be red all the time, like Xenon, the Yaki, our kayak friends, and everybody else that stays in the red. But the best way I can describe the Vigor Syndicate is we all know those people on social media, and you probably even have some friends that are like this, that will push you and push you and push you. And then when you finally set them straight, they play the victim. That's exactly what the Syndicate is. And we see a lot of examples of that in real life. So I guess it makes sense that we would have a pirate faction that does exactly that. So as we head out to the map, I decided that because we could not really do what I wanted to do with the Xenon, which is attack them in their own territory, I decided we're going to do that with the Syndicate. So I started sending ships into their area, and boy, look what I found. We knew they had a strong military presence. That was nothing new. But just when I got close enough to open up the radar in this area, look what I found. And it is marvelous. This is going to be a great space battle. However, I mentioned at the very beginning of the video that this is a time I knew was coming, but I hoped we could avoid it for as long as possible. What I mean by that is we have reached the limits of my CPU. All right, so I have to tell you guys, I have had to reload a save. The reason I had to reload a save is because with minus 19 reputation with these guys, any little incident will be enough to push us past the minus 20 threshold, turn every one of these guys, so the entire Vigor Syndicate, into the red, and then it is all-out war. They attack every ship of ours that they see. We attack every ship of theirs that we see. Well, that happened to me by accident just a few moments ago. It was not something I planned, but they dropped down one of their laser towers back over in our home area. So right back over here, they have, in fact, it might have been one of these guys. There's a guy over in this area. He dropped down some laser towers and was attacking one of my miners who was minding his own business. Well, my miner, or one of the escorts that you see flying around here, destroyed that laser tower as it was attacking us. That was the final straw. The proverbial straw that broke the camel's back, and it turned into all-out war. And essentially my game turned into a slideshow. So that's kind of where we are. And honestly, it's the reason why I generally avoid combat when I do playthroughs of this game. But here we are, And I don't know how much longer we're going to hold out. Again, if something similar happens very soon while we're recording here, then it might be the end right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to set all this up. And as much as I hate to do this, we're going to have to view this from outside. We're going to have to view this kind of like we did with when we originally got the Earl King. We're going to have to do a lot of viewing from the map screen to try to keep my PC from complete meltdown if possible. Now, that is certainly not what I want. I want space battles. I want to be in the middle of it. I want to see it all. But that's just not going to be possible with as many ships and as big of a war as this is going to be. So that's kind of where we are. So I'm going to apologize up front. I don't know how much longer we can do this gameplay series if things continue as they are. And certainly if we find ourselves in the middle of a space battle, I'm going to have to try to get out personally. Now, we're going to try to let the space battle happen, but we're going to have to sort of view it from afar. So with that in mind and that sort of out of the way, I've already sent these guys in there preparing for war. And here you can see this is what we have as far as the ships. Extra large, large, medium, and then fighters. Well, I have also been preparing a new fleet. So here's our large ships. Here's some fighters that have made it to the area, but we've got tons more on the way. All right, in fact, let's actually go down. Let's just go through. This is what I've been doing. So let's go to the Terran Wharf. Let's see how many we have in construction. All right, so we got some katanas that we can't get enough materials for. That's turret components that are lacking. There's a supreme shortage of turret components. Imagine that as I am building huge fleets. There has been a huge shortage. Okay, so everybody is done there, which means that all of my fighters that I have queued up are now somewhere in between there and the ultimate goal. So let's look for them briefly. All right, I don't see them along the way here. Okay, so far so good. That means they should be closer. Okay. Now, of course, these guys, these are the ones who are actively patrolling. So that's where all these guys are. Now, this is odd. Are these guys all clumped together? Is that what it is? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got several right there anyway. Okay, so you can see right here, I mean, we've got tons. I mean, there's a lot of guys here. We've got several Osakas. All of these guys have been queued up, and I've put them down in this area so that once we finally got done with all of the construction on these bad boys, that I could put together the fleet and bring them down into Windfall 1. So it looks like plans might have had to change a little bit today. So let's actually hop over to the large shipyard and let's see what we've got in construction and any docked ships. Okay, so I didn't dock anybody there. Of course, the large and extra large can't dock there for long periods of time because we're doing construction. So we've got one Earl King that is waiting to be constructed. Again, part shortage. We've got a couple of Osakas that are about to be done and 8 more queued up as we have what we need. Okay, and we should have, if we now come back over, so we'll have to come back and get those Osakas here pretty soon. All right, let's get back over to Argon Prime. Okay, so the Leviathan is done. All right, let's bring, and his very, very slow self, let's bring him, let's bring the Leviathan to right here. Okay, again, this is not happening the way I wanted it to, but the Vigor Syndicate have sort of forced my hand, and this is not going to happen in the way I wanted. Now, this is, that's not who that is. Who is this? That's another Leviathan. Where is, I have another Earl King out here somewhere. That's where, there he goes. Okay, So just to fill you guys in on another bit of information, with all of the production that I have been doing back up here at the shipyard, we've run out of people. So what I'm referring to, for anybody who might not be aware or might not have, oops, wrong one, wrong screen, might not be familiar with what I'm referring to, whenever you build a ship, okay, let's just go ahead and queue something up. All right, you have the crew section, okay, and with the Earl King, we have room for 328 crew. With some of the others, it's as many as 50, maybe 150. It's all over the board depending on the ship. Well, we run out of people. So now when I'm building ships, they come out with very little, if any, crew. So I'm having to send them to a nearby shipyard. Most of the time I've been using Talati, which is right over here. But then sometimes I'm having to come all the way over to Argon Prime and use their shipyard. So I've got ships going every which way so that we can try to get enough crew to make this happen. All right, so now I see, where is our Earl King? Has he made it back over here? Yes. Okay, there you can see he's headed over here as well. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to grab the Osakas. All right, where are we? We got 4 Osakas over here now. I'm happy about that. All right, so I'm going to grab, and let's just take a look. I don't think they're probably going to have any. Oops, wrong one. Yeah, they have none. Okay, great. What about you? Okay, you have none as well. These guys on this side, for whatever reason, usually have a little bit more. Yeah, they've got a few. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and I'm going to let you guys see. This is kind of what I usually have to do with this. This is the behind the scenes part of this. So I have to bring these guys over. We have to queue up. And you can see we spend some money doing this, but it's 100% worth it because these guys will do all the repair work. And then I'm going to queue them up to come right over there. All right, so today's video, that's what we're doing. We're preparing literally for war that will happen just any moment. And when it happens, I mean, who knows what's going to go down from there. I mean, my computer may just freeze up entirely and we may not get to see any of it, but I'm going to do the best I can to try to get some sort of external view from some angle that doesn't just completely fry my PC. Because yeah, when it happened a few moments ago before I started recording, it was brutal. It was brutal. Okay, so that's 2 of those guys taken care of. You, I'm going to send you, again, we're going to send them all over here. It doesn't take very long for this upgrade to happen. That's the good news. The other good news is, to this point, Talati hasn't run out of people in this shipyard because I've been sending a lot of them over there. Of course, when I use Talati, I prefer to use Talati because they're the closest one. And of course, these guys are not known for their speed. That much we can be sure of. The Osakas are not the fastest in the fleet. All right, so we'll go ahead and queue up this last one. But yeah, this was supposed to be my time to do some of the behind the scenes stuff to prepare. But yeah, it didn't work out that way. So now you guys are getting to see all of it now. All right, so now that we've got this, I'm going to sort of throw this together in just a moment with what we have. However, before that, and by the way, you notice that this particular fleet will have no medium ships. That's because of the part shortage of turret components. So we will not have any mediums. All right, so what I want to do is, all right, so let's see. Let's bring you, okay, for some reason they never, ever obey any of the orders I give them. So I'm going to give them an order to come out, and we're going to bring them like right right there. All right, so we're gonna bring you right over there. That's gonna trigger the recall subordinates thing, which is good. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, so now all right, so we got that one there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and queue up this guy who is the leader. Let me just verify that. Let's only do fleets here. So yeah. All right, so we've got Earl King number 2. I hadn't renamed this guy. Hadn't even gotten that far yet. So we've got this guy heading over here. And what I'm trying to do is sort of get them out of the way. I do not want them around any stations. Because, of course, the stations are going to have lots of turrets in all likelihood. Because it's the Syndicate. So I'm trying to sort of get them out of there a little bit before I give them the remaining order here in just a few moments. But you can see we have, in these particular, we have a couple of extra large, and this one we have 3 extra large, which is a couple of Earl Kings and one of our new modded ships, which I believe is right there. Yeah, one of the Leviathans. We have each have 10 large, around 50 medium, and then around 50 or so fighters as well. So now let's get the Windfall Earl King, which was the original one that I wanted to bring into the area. All right, so you are going to stop right there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have these guys all sort of be in the same area because I don't want, as much as I need to spread them out, because of the AI behavior, I need everybody together so we can sort of protect each other. All right, so this guy, all right, I believe he's doing the whole recall subordinates. Yeah, he's doing that right now, which is my least favorite order probably in the entire game. But we're going to let them go ahead and do that. Luckily, again, right now, it's not as big a deal because they've just been sitting there.
Awaiting orders.
There you can see another of our Earl Kings. So yeah, he gets really excited. He starts to move and then he stops. So now what we're going to do from here is I am going to queue up repeat orders. Okay. So that's going to get rid of everything. And then I am simply going to tell these guys attack everything that is in this range. So we're right here by the jump gate. We're not in range of any of their stations. That was the key.
Awaiting orders.
Okay, so now I'm going to do the exact same thing with this guy. Let's go ahead and queue up the screen. Put it on repeat. Why can we not put it on repeat just yet? Is there a particular reason why we can't? Because he doesn't have a full... Of course he doesn't. Because why wouldn't he? I mean, I don't know why that would be a thing. Now, don't worry. We can still do it. We'll just have to do it the hard way, and it won't be a repeating order. So what I'm going to do is we're going to have to keep in mind that the game has seen fit to not allow this. So we'll have to keep in mind that Fleet 50, I can right-click and give the order, which is exactly what I'm going to do. However, I don't know that that is going to last forever. So we're going to have to recheck that for sure. Okay, in fact, it's probably already gone. Yeah, it's already gone. So if something happens that triggers all of these guys to turn red, then, by the way, I really appreciate you guys just sort of hanging out here, not going where I asked you to. That's nice. All right, so everybody slowly but surely is going to make their way over into a huge clump and cause a huge mess for frames per second. All right, so now let's come back up here. What do you have? Do you have a full... I can give you a repeat order. Okay, you just made my day. All right, so with everybody that we've got so far, let's go ahead and do a shift click and put you guys on attack with commander. I'm going to put you guys, I don't know that I have any other extra large, but I'm going to put you in the beta. The way I generally like to do it, just for fun, alpha are the extra large ships, beta, large, and so forth. So I'm going to do that, even though right off the top of my head, we should have one Leviathan coming this way. Yeah, in fact, there he is right there. All right, we're going to put this guy, attack with the commander, and I just need you to attack like for real, not just stay back and not do anything. Okay, and then let's grab all of these guys who are here, and let's do attack. And we don't have any mediums, so I'm going to skip that one, just in case we happen to find some. Okay, now, let's hop back out, and let's see what we have. That's going to give us 2 extra large, 8 large, and 55. So there was a lot of fighters just right in that same area that you couldn't quite see. Okay, that's... I know we've got a couple more headed this way, because remember, we had 4 that we queued up. We had 4 that we queued up. Now, I could, obviously you see, we've got a lot of Syndicate in here. I want to leave, for that reason, I want to leave a couple of our patrols in here. And of course, we've got all our defense stations, so I'm hoping that'll be enough. But I got to be honest, I'm not sure. I'm just not sure at all. This fighting that you see in here, by the way, is going to be Argon versus HOP, maybe Talati mixed in there as well. But that's probably what it is. All right, so up here in the shipyard, anybody else done? Yes. You are done. And yikes, I really need these guys to get... Yeah, I got to send them. You can see, I mean, we got some guys over here. So we'll just add them all to the list. It's taking a little bit longer to do all these upgrades than I would prefer. But admittedly, I'm sending more of them at one time than I normally do. So I am sort of killing it right now in the game. I'm a little behind. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this Osaka. We're going to have you added on there. Let's head back up here. Isn't it so exciting? So this is, for those of you who might not actually play the game, or haven't gotten very far into the game, anything like that, this is a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff you get to do. Because especially as you get deeper into the game, there's so much more going on. There's a lot more to keep track of, and you find yourself doing a lot more of this type of thing, which I don't mind at all. But in general, what I end up doing is, because I stay away from combat most of the time, I find myself working more with the traders and the miners, making sure that I'm constantly getting more and more of them to battle the attrition and so forth, instead of what we're doing right now, which is trying to get our fighters ready to go, all of our fleets. All right, so let's see, let's add you in there. Okay, now the rest of these guys, as they get done, are just going to sort of... Oh, in fact, they're almost done now. Okay, I like it. All right, let's see what your orders are. All right, you're no longer going to fly and wait. I want you... All right, let's zoom back out a little bit here. Did we get the Earl King? No, we did not. Of course we didn't. All right. All right, so let's try to... I'm going to zoom way in here and make sure we get exactly what we want. Okay, so you go beta. And again, we're going to have to catch probably a few. They're going to be headed in here momentarily like that. But I want to go ahead and queue both of these guys up while I can. Okay, so you're a flying weight. So we're going to get rid of that. Woo! This is a lot. This is a lot to queue up. Okay, now let's find the guys that are just coming in late to the party. All right, the Leviathan is slowly but surely making its way. He's in no particular hurry. All right, the Osaka is going to fly and wait. Not anymore, you're not. So this particular fleet, not going to have anything on the medium variety, but we are going to have a lot of large ships. The Osaka's aplenty in this fleet. All right. You, fly and wait. Not anymore. And that may be the last one. I've lost count. I will readily admit that I have lost count at this point. Okay, so now we've got you, who's there. We've done that one. Anybody else? Any other stragglers? What about you? Nope, you've already been done. So that should be it, I believe. And of course, we've also got some more queued up. So there will be an ever-increasing fleet that is headed this way. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to cancel that out. So now he can do his recall subordinates here in just a minute, because we are going to send him into Windfall, and we're going to send him right into the middle of this. Okay, so confirm that. And we're going to have him go like right here and attack. So recall subordinates, let him get that done. Shouldn't take very long. He'll have a few stragglers here with the Osakas. Okay, nobody's left over at the shipyard. Everybody's done. What about any more? Again, I keep waiting to see. If you remember, our extra large fabrication bay is right here in the middle. So I keep hoping that I'm going to see another Earl King pop in there. But alas, it is not to be right now. All right. So that was a lot for today. And again, just keep in mind, none of this was intended to be on camera, but the game has sort of forced my hand. The Syndicate has sort of forced my hand at this point. I'm going to have to be prepared at a moment's notice. So what I'm going to do moving forward is I'm going to keep this series going as long as I can, as long as you guys are enjoying it and as long as I'm enjoying it. But I'm going to have to add an asterisk in there with a third contingent. So not only does it need to be that you're enjoying it and I'm enjoying it, my CPU's got to be able to handle it. So I'm going to try to work around that as best I possibly can, and we'll just see how it goes. I would love nothing more than to be able to really continue working with this and have some serious battle and attempt to take over at least a portion of Syndicate territory. And that portion I'm talking about is Windfall 1. Because that would really hurt them in their bid to try to expand and continue being a general nuisance, because it takes away one of their opportunities to get out to the highway. Now, they have others, but it takes away one. And if we can take away their shipyard and wharf, oh, that really would cripple them. Particularly, I would say the wharf. That would really cripple them, because you can see, I mean, what do they have the most of? Well, there are tons and tons of fighters around here. Really don't see any medium-sized ships, but you see a lot of fighters, and then, of course, they've got some large vessels. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to do, but it's going to be iffy moving forward. But no doubt, if there's going to be space battles, we're here for it as best we possibly can. So that's going to do it for today. Once again, I hope you guys are enjoying it. Let me know in the comment section below if you're enjoying it and maybe what we'd like to see going forward, and hopefully some space battles. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and stick around as hopefully we'll get to see more X4 Foundations.